and iron this. I've also added my sleeve. You see, it's coming together, so the only thing remaining now is just to put the neckline. And guys, you see, the reason why you have to have this come inside more is because the whole purpose of it is that this is a Cuban collar and is also called notch collar, vintage shirt, what is called all these names. So it's because the neckline here, the button doesn't come up to this part, because this neck part here folds this way, like is a notch collar. So this part here folds here. It's not like the shirt where the button comes round. This part here, the button now for me is going to start somewhere here and go down. So the neckline, or if you want, you can make yours come this way. You don't have to make it so long. You can bring yours up a little bit this way, and then the neckline is this way. So you see, and then you put in your button and then your button hole on one side, just like that. That's how this shirt is made. So now all I have to do is to, you see the inside here, this part is folded. The way we folded it is inside here. And don't forget to notch the collar at this part where it's folded. Once you finish cutting it, notch this part so that it can help you center your fabric well. So you see, I notched mine here and I also notched it here. So now we're going to go ahead and cut the collar so we can insert it. First thing you're going to do is go ahead and measure around your neckline. So you're going to measure, but you're going to leave out about 1.5 inches here. Like you're going to start 1.5 after the edge of this here. So 1.5 away, or you can do 1 inch, it depends on you. Then you're going to measure it round. And when you come to this side again, you're going to stop 1.5 before the end, or 1 inch, it depends on you again, like I said. So you're going to measure the distance from after this 1.5 away from here. Measure what you have left down to this point before this 1.5 again. So guys, I've measured mine and it's 15 inches. So I added 1 inch to it. That's going to be 16 inches because I need half an inch to close up the two edges, right? So I have 15 here plus 1 inch, which is 16 inches. If you look at it, you see. So I need the half an inch for one edge and half an inch for one edge because I'm going to close this edge here. And then the length of my collar here is 3 inches, 3.5 actually, because I need 3 inches for my length of the collar, but half an inch is going to be to join it to the body of the shirt, right? So if it's folded into two, if I open it up now, I have a width of I think 7.5 or so. So when I fold it this way, it's about 3.5. 7 inches is what is supposed to be wide open, and then when I fold it here, it's supposed to be 3.5, and then the width here is 16. And because my neckline is 15, I added 1 inch, like I said. So now all you have to do is to fold this into two again this way. You're going to reduce the edge on this side. You're going to reduce it. So you're going to go ahead and mark about 3 inches for your back neckline. Mark it down here. So from this point to this point, the 3 inches I use for my back neckline, the rest is now going to my front neckline. I'm going to subtract about 1.5 on this edge here, this distance here, and then I'm going to blend this down up to this point. You can blend it a little bit to go into the back, but you just need this here to know the landmark. So I'm going to just cut this way, just this way, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out. So guys, now I'm going to notch this just so I'll know where my center is. And then the next thing I have to do is to fold it to the, okay, it's actually on the wrong side now. So all I have to do is just make a stitch on this edge and then also make a stitch on this edge with half an inch and flip it inside out, iron it. So guys, you see my collar is ready now. All I have to do is to take it now and attach it. You see, this is my center back. The back of my shirt is this. This is the center part, and remember, like I said, don't forget to notch your collar. So this notched part of this collar and this notched part here is going to meet, and then I'm going to sew this down just like that. I'm going to attach it down, but getting to this point, you're going to fold these parts back, right? These 3 inches that we folded here for the side of the shirt, you see, you remember this part. Once we're getting to the front, you will notice that this part here, you still have this much room left. So you're going to flip it back. But that notch you made at the edge is going to help you know where the end of this shirt is going to be. And then you're going to sew this down like this on top of it, right? You're going to sew it down on top of it like this, in between. So that once you flip it out, your shirt is going to, the collar is going to come out. So guys, you see how I attached it? I folded this edge here on this side so that it can come in and cover this side of the shirt. Once I flip it out, you see my collar coming out here. And then you see this on this side too, the same thing. I folded it in here to cover up the edge of this collar. Once I flip it out, you have this here. But in the meantime, I'm going to use bias now that I'm still on the wrong side here, because this is my collar. Now I'm still on the wrong side. I'm just going to use bias to finish up this here and fold it away just so that it will be hidden. So I'm going to use this to cover it so that this part of the neck, this part will not be itchy at the back of the person's neck. So guys, I wanted to show you how I'm attaching this here. So you just cut a piece of fabric that is about 1 inch of width, and then you sew it down all the way to the edge, right? And then you start folding it. You see how I folded this side here? I folded all the way to this part. So you first take the 1 inch fabric. You see this is it here. I sewed it down again on top of the rest of the opening that has that excess, right? After trimming off some of it. And then after that, you're going to take it now, fold it inside like this. So now that 1 inch of fabric that I have left, I'm folding it this way and I'm sewing it down. But I'm sewing it down onto the shirt, you see. I'm sewing it down to the body of the shirt, not on the collar. So I'm folding it down this way to sew it down. So I'm going to continue my stitch all the way to the end. Just see how you're going to sew it on the sewing machine. Flip it this way, and then from under you look, and then you see that you folded this excess. Just like that, you're going to keep sewing it down. Just keep on making your stitch all the way to the end. So guys, you see this is what it looks like now, and you see my stitch went even all the way inside of this part here. So now once I flip it out, cut off the excess, flip it out, you see now this part of your collar is going to cover. That's why I was saying if you want, you can use more than 4 inches so that it can go in even further if that's what you want, but I'm okay with this one here. So all you have to do now is just flip it out. So you see, flip out the inside here, and then I have my shirt. So now all you have to do is to put in the button and iron this part down. So guys, you see this is done. All you have to do now is, you see why it's called the notch collar, this notch here, or it's called a Cuban collar. You can use it as a vintage shirt. It can be for a male, it can be for a female, just the same method. All you need is their round the chest measurement, the shoulder measurement, the armhole, and the round their sleeve, and then you start making your shirt. So you can make it oversized, you can make it however long enough, however you want it to be. So you can even use a different color of fabric, like nicer fabrics like this here. It will give you more of the vintage look like than this plain one that I'm using here, but I'm just using it as a sample fabric to show you guys. So the next thing I have to do now, you see this part is overlapping by 1 inch, just exactly what we need. So all you have to do is put one button, and then you put in your button hole on this side. So you see the inside of my shirt, what it looks like is neat. And why I said you can extend this, like if it's on a bigger person, you can go ahead and use like 5 inches extra, so that once you fold this shirt here and make your notch collar, you will not be seeing half of like where this seam cuts off, so that this can go in even more. That's the reason why I said you can extend yours and use like 5 inches, just so this can go even more. So in case you decide to make it more open, you will not have a case where you are seeing the inside of this. That's the only reason why you can use more than 5 inches, just so this part here can go in, it can extend inside of your shirt. So that's basically how you do this here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any question, leave it on the comment section, and yeah, bye. Make a stitch along this edges here, so it helps this this thing not to flip out, so it doesn't flip out, and it gives it a clean finish. So you have to give it a stitch all the way. You see how mine started? So you start from one end here, very close to the edge. You're going to make a stitch. If you can see mine all the way up, you get to this notch part here, you go all the way, go in, come back up again, and then follow that same way all the way on your collar. So you see how this side is now. You see how this one is, but you see this side looks better. The one where I've already made my stitch here looks better than this side here. So just like that, you come over on top of the collar, go back down, just like that. At the very end here, you're going to make your stitch all the way to the end before you then fold the edge of your clothes.